Dimitri from Remax Little Oak with another Forever Home in East Abbotsford minute here. I'm talking to Haley Duke from Oak and Harvest. Oak and Harvest offers the first locally curated charcuterie box delivery here in Abbotsford for special occasions or gifts or everyday celebrations. So how are you doing, Haley? Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I was really excited when I saw your post on Facebook there about your new business offering in our community. And I was wondering, because I hadn't met you, that how long you'd been in the neighborhood here.
So I've actually been in Abbotsford a couple years. I moved here in September of 2019. Unfortunately, most of my time here has been during COVID. So I've dealt with, haven't really been able to see the city as much, but it's definitely become home. And I'm excited, for restrictions to loosen up hopefully over the next few months, and I'll really be able to get out and about more.
Yeah, for sure. And you were saying you're from Ontario.
I'm from Ontario originally, yep. So I moved out to BC in 2015. So I've been out here almost 6 years. I was only 20 when I moved out. Ended up in Victoria. That's where I finished my degree. And then now I'm here on the mainland.
Awesome. Yeah. So what inspired you to come out here? Was it something from your youth or childhood, or?
I always loved BC. I had visited a couple times when I was in high school, and I thought I really wanted to go to school out here. When it came time to applying to schools, I was kind of persuaded to stay closer to home, and I'm happy I did. I started my degree in Ontario, and then a couple years into it, I thought I really want to change. I love BC. Why not move out? So I applied to the University of Victoria, and I was accepted, and basically packed my bags. I'd never been to Victoria before, so it was definitely going out on a limb a little bit. But yeah, never looked back.
Well, score one for BC. There's like a rivalry, right, between BC and Ontario.
It seems so many people from Ontario move out here. So
yeah. Oh, interesting. And so what made you want to start a business out here?
Honestly, it's funny. Both my parents are self-employed, and watching them be, employed by themselves my entire life, I always swore I would never own my own business, because I saw, the side of it that not everybody sees, that you don't really get vacation time. You're kind of always available. It's not like the typical 9 to 5. So I always said, no way am I ever going to own a business. And then with everything with COVID and, everything that kind of happened, I didn't have a job. I've been trying to get a job in my field ever since I graduated, but the job market right now is pretty crazy. So this honestly just kind of happened naturally, and I'm just kind of going with it.
That's awesome. Yeah, necessity is the mother of invention. That really happened to me over the last few years as well. So that's awesome. So, you mentioned COVID. I know things have been a little bit slow that way, but how has it been since you first started?
It's been great. Honestly, it was a little nerve-wracking at first and a little bit overwhelming. I remember sitting right before we launched. I had this idea and I thought, why not just run with it? But I remember a couple days before I was officially going to launch, I was sitting on the couch with my boyfriend. I was like, what if this just doesn't work? Like, what if no one wants to buy my product and no one likes it, and everyone hates it, and all these worries in your head are just running through your head, and it's so easy to get in your head about it and question yourself. So definitely a little nerve-wracking. You're putting so much energy into something, and it almost becomes your baby, and now it's like, what if no one likes it? And then on top of that, the financial risk is you're putting in a lot of money up front, getting everything set up and getting ready to launch. And then it's like, it's a risk essentially. So it was definitely nerve wracking, and it's only me. I don't have any employees. I'm just working from home. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind, honestly. It all happened really fast. I kind of had the idea about a month before Mother's Day, and then just kind of hit the ground running and really wanted to get launched before Mother's Day. And then I did, and I was like, then after Mother's Day, it's like, well, what if I lose steam? And what if nobody wants my product now? It's always this continuing to question yourself, but still trying to have faith in yourself. And when no one, typically my jobs I've had a boss. Now I'm my own boss. So it's like, if I want this to continue, it's all up to me. So, but in the same sense, it's been exciting and rewarding, and I've learned so much, and I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah. And I know, reading a little bit about what you're doing when we were chatting, you talked about the importance for you of working with local businesses. Why do you think it's so important for people to shop local?
I think based on my own experience, when you buy a local product, you support a local business, it means the absolute world to that owner of that business. It's not like Amazon where you're just ordering some mass produced product. This is a product that, when you place your order, the person on the other end is getting excited every single time that order is placed. And, every time I have a new order, it means so much to me. And to me, it signifies that maybe they were recommended to me, or, someone, they heard about me somewhere, or they really believe in me and they believe in my product, and they're giving me a chance to serve them. And that means so much to me. It's so much more personal when you support a local business.
Oh, for sure. And I know from my perspective, if I'm giving it to somebody, I love that it's been handmade by somebody locally with some thoughtfulness and some care going into it, right? I mean, you want that intention behind your gift giving too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
um, with that in mind, you were talking about kind of the risks and the fears and everything else. What are some of the goals you have for the business over the next year?
So obviously when I first started, I only started with one size, and I thought I'm just going to see how this goes. And surprisingly, because of the lumber shortage and everything due to COVID, there's also a paper shortage, which I did not even think of at the time. So when I say there's been a learning curve, it's even just dealing with things like that. It's like, oh, who knew that it would be so hard getting boxes?
Right. Yeah.
Um, but now I'm starting to get my suppliers in line, and hopefully in the next week we'll be launching new sizes. I know there's definitely a demand for more than one size. Right now I only offer the one size, um, and it's quite a big portion, and it's also at a higher price point. When I first came out with this idea, it was more, this is a perfect gift, or it's a client gift, or for Mother's Day or something like that. But now I'm kind of wanting to expand that, and I know that there's various needs. So maybe it's just for yourself, or maybe it's for you and your partner, or you and your girlfriend, or
Yeah.
I really want to be able to meet that demand. So definitely new sizes, and that will hopefully happen within the next week. And then just expanding on our boxes. So I'd like to have specialty boxes. I won't say too much about the details of those, but yeah, just really trying to meet the needs of our community as best as I can.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think the demand will be unstoppable. I know, I've been chatting with a few people about it, and we're like, yes, yes, like more of this. That's fantastic because, the time and effort it takes and the money it takes to put something like that together is not insignificant, right? So people will pay a little bit and even a premium when they're gift giving to have something like that put together so nicely.
Exactly. It's a convenience factor too, right? Like, yeah, not having, and so many people have said to me, I don't know what to buy at the store to make a charcuterie board or box.
Right.
I don't know what I'm looking for. And if I do, maybe I don't know how to put it together. So
Yeah, you end up all cheese and no meat.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
This is
So
the worst thing that could happen, but it doesn't look good.
for real estate agents, for mortgage brokers, there's so many different ways that a charcuterie box can be put to good use. So, I'd like to meet those needs and provide a gift giving experience that hasn't been on the market before.
Yeah, for sure. And so, what is the most important thing to you when it comes to running this business? Like if you had a mantra or something in mind for how you'll go to market with the products.
For me, obviously, needless to say, quality is so important to me. I want someone to be able to look at this box and think, I got my money's worth. I'm happy I paid for this product. Um, I want there to be a good assortment of cheese and meat and different things to suit different needs, be it gluten-free crackers, or, I want it to feel like valuable for what they paid for it. And then on top of that, I'm really focused on having an equitable business. It's really important to me that I'm sourcing products as locally as I can and supporting Canadian companies and supporting local companies. And, when it comes to partnerships, I want to partner with farms and, and people that I know how much it would mean to them to be a partner or to be supported in the same capacity that I'm supported. So, making eco-friendly purchases, making sure our products are environmentally friendly and that our boxes are recyclable, all those things are really important to me. To me, it's not about just making money. Of course, money is nice, but there's so much more than that. Eventually, if I do hire employees, paying wages that are fair wages and, livable wages, all those things are really important to me. So that will never be lost in the pursuit of making money.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. That's your generation too. I think you have a
I hope so.
better heart that way. So on that note, if I can go a little deep, because I'm a deep thinker, how would you like to be remembered? Whether it's, in this phase of your career and life, or, if you talk about, your life in general, but what do you want people to think of when they think of Haley Duke?
I really want to set the precedent of it's, no goal is too big. And I want to be remembered as someone that always took risks and that didn't let fear get in the way. I think with so many things, big, small, it's so easy to just get scared and to let that fear stop you from taking a risk. When I was first planning on starting this, a girlfriend of mine said to me, "What's the absolute worst that can happen?" And I thought, well, it's a pretty good point. Like she said, say you put $1,000 into this off the hop. Okay. And you don't make a single penny back and everything goes terribly. And, everybody hates your product. What are you losing? $1,000 in the grand scheme of things is $1,000. You're probably going to learn something and you might be out $1,000. And I thought that's a really good way of looking at it. And, I just feel like in everything in my life, I'm not afraid to just take that risk and to just, dive in head first and really see where it takes me. And I highly encourage anyone that, has an idea or, is on the fence about pursuing something, be it, moving across the country or going to school for something that you didn't think you'd ever want to go to school for, or, finding a new job, opening a company, starting a relationship, any of those things. I just think you never know if you never try.
Well, I think you should include some of your little inspirations on a little note inside your boxes, because you are a force to be reckoned with there. So one last thing about you. Tell me something that no one would know about you or not many people know about you. We don't know a lot about you anyway, but someone well might be watching this.
So I would say most people don't know that I have absolutely no business background. My professional background is actually in nonprofit fundraising and program management. I went to school for anthropology and social justice. Absolutely no business skills. So I'm talking like since the beginning of this, I've had to learn Excel and, I had some working knowledge, but I don't know anything about marketing and social media management and branding and design and all these things, photography even. And then, so many, you see with influencers now, like everyone has the most perfect Instagram feeds. Like I do not, I'm not, a photo editor or, so just learning all these things, it's completely out of my realm. And like I said, it's mostly just me. Thankfully, I've had a lot of great support to lean on. I have friends that are photographers and, a girlfriend of mine just started a branding studio. So I've had a lot of great support. But in terms of just running a business and knowing how to do it, thankfully, like I said, my parents are self-employed. So I've definitely been able to lean on them. But, at the end of the day, it's just me doing this day in and day out. And I've had to learn a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that, it's clear that you have an entrepreneurial spirit, right? That's the DNA. You've got that DNA from your parents. I mean, the other
Exactly.
things, Excel and learning social media, these are all tools, right? And eventually you can outsource that. But if you have the, the inspiration and the passion behind growing something and having some sort of purpose behind it and meaningfulness behind it, then, you've got a lot of it already. So that's awesome. So
Yeah.
most importantly, because I know everyone's salivating and they want to get a box or two as soon as they can. So how can people reach out to you? I know you're on Instagram, Oak and Harvest. So what else can people do to find you or to order boxes from you?
Yeah, so we are on Instagram and Facebook at Oak and Harvest, at Oak and Harvest. The best way to reach me is through direct message, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram. And then you can also email me at oakandharvest@gmail.com. That's probably your best bet. I do this day in and day out, so I'm checking all the time, and I typically respond quite fast.
That's awesome. Well, thanks, Haley, for your time. It's been super fun. I know you're going to do really well, and I'm going to be one of your biggest fans. Again, thanks everyone for joining. This is Steph Petrie with another episode of Forever Home in East Abbotsford. Have a great day.
Thanks so much.